Nobody stop me. A's and B's in the school, then watch cross stage and Mars. Ooh, mama, you want you raised to go to the sun. Always destined to get it, but now we're only begun. Confidence, said she love my accomplishments, yeah. Said she love my confidence, said she love my accomplishments, yeah. Said she love my dominance, said she love my harmony, yeah. Said she love my dominance.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Flag Talk, where we talk about all the topics regarding NFL flag and flag in general. We've talked about all the topics in the past, coaching. We had some of our alumni players come back, talked about tournaments. We talked about everything. So we're going to keep this going with Eric Cooper, my partner over there.
Shaw Colvin.
Hey, and every NFL flag league has a couple of seasons. Usually they're spring and the fall season, but most of them wrapped up their fall seasons, if not recently, maybe back in the end of October. But we're blessed to have two of our former players and people who've been involved in our past fall season here to talk about that and their experiences in the league in all the years they've been playing with us. Starting with my man on the right.
Ooh, let me go first.
My name is Josh Anderson, the biggest showstopper. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm Kelly. Could be known as a lot of things. Best coach in the league, best quarterback league's ever seen. Hooper, whatever. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, Josh, let me ask you, this first question. So I want to take people back to when you first started in the league. So coming into the league, like maybe what was some of your early expectations for like what you thought you would do in the league? Like what position did you want to play? Like just kind of tell us about like maybe some of your early experiences with the league.
So when I first started, I was, 12? I was a little bigger. I was way slower. Actually, the first person taught me something was actually you. You taught me how to catch a football in like a receiver way. So after that that was it. I wanted to be a receiver, and that was it. Once it caught my attention, it was game over, and then I became the GOAT, and that was all history. All the rest is history.
Winston, like the same question to you, like when you came into the league, because you played with the Chargers first, right?
Yeah.
So that was your first team. So when you came to the league, like what were some of your expectations? Like what did you want to play, and then ultimately, like what did you like end up playing? So
I mean, I really had no clue what I wanted to do in the league. It was just like my mom kind of signed me because I think I started when I was around 7 or 8, something like that. So when I first came in, I was just like, I mean, it's just something new because I ain't never played football, ever did something like that. But had a lot of family that did. So my mom was like, you might as well start. And then I'm playing, and I ain't know what I wanted to do. I ain't know about flag. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So that's why I like the Chargers, Broncos. I didn't really do much. I just enjoy my time with the Broncos because it's like it felt like a family. Like it felt different than just like a normal flag team based off what I seen. So like I still didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of going along for the ride. And then when I remember I think it was a summer, and I would just start throwing the ball in my backyard, and I'm like launching it, and I'm like, I actually like start like liking quarterback. So I started playing quarterback for Coach Brandon for the Bengals, and then after I started like doing well, like I started going to training. I was doing like high school level type of training, so I learned that, and then that started up for there. So.
Okay.
So tell us, since both of you were players in our league, tell us one of your most memorable experiences.
Honestly, and this is crazy to say because I feel like if anybody knows me, especially dealing with our league, I love winning. I really do love winning. And I do love just being that guy. Like, I like being that premier person. But honestly, I think the most humbling experience, and that's a crazy word for me to use, but our biggest loss, actually, when I was younger, about 13, my last year in the league, I lost with my team. I was with the Lions. I was with Gabe and Dom. That was our big three. And we projected just to kill everybody, like, because we had a team. Like, it was just
agreed.
Gabe, Dom, and Josh. Like, ain't nobody beating them.
Great, agreed.
But we lost because we got outcoached. We got outplayed, and the other team wanted it more. I say it all the time. I think just wanted it more. But that kind of gave me the key to, like, the life almost. It was like, boom, like. So in life, if you want it more than somebody else, you could just take it. Like, that's just how it works. Like, if you really want it more than somebody else, you could take it. Like, even if that team is, you could face Michael Jordan. If you want it more, you could take it. And that's when I knew. I was like, yeah, I'm about to, this will never happen to me again. I'll never feel this pain. I'll never have my team looking at me like, you didn't do it for us? Because I was the oldest on the team, so yeah, I had a quarterback. I had my dome.
I had a crazy
everything,
team, bro.
Woo, that hurt piece in that one because when you look at that team, you like, wow, bro, there's no way we didn't win. And it's like, wow, we didn't win. So since then, I've just never there's never been a time in my life where I haven't put my best foot forward just to try to hit that ceiling now. Like, to want to be better than I was the day before. So, yeah.
What is your most memorable experience, like, playing in the league, or one of them?
I'll probably say that championship game, the Bengals versus the Colts, for sure, because that whole year, like, that was my first year playing quarterback, like, seriously, and then it was like, I really felt like a quarterback is kind of just like how the other players were, and I didn't realize that, like, I feel like, to me, like, in my perspective, I feel like it's the team and then the quarterback and then the coach. So I feel like the quarterback's in a whole different conversation in the team. So if I felt like whenever I was playing, like, I was just playing, and then I started getting, like, you were getting in my head, and the whole team was getting in my head. So I'm not realizing, like, whenever they look at you, like, they're looking at you to feel like you're the savior. So, like, whatever energy you show is how they're going to play.
The quarterback is a savior.
So I'm like, and then I'm kind of just playing. I'm not thinking of it like that. And I have this attitude, like, I don't know what to do at this point. And then Coach Brandon, he was, like, I love Coach Brandon Depp, but he would be doing, like, a lot. Like, I learned a lot from him. Like, we would be trying to do read options. He would be having me trying to break down Lamar Jackson's film and everything like that. So there would be a lot of stuff going on. And then I was just in my own head, so that's why, like, and then I started getting in my own head, and then it was just all down from there. And I feel like now, like, that same team now, like, I wouldn't know how to kind of control myself and bring myself back together. But that was my first year, so it kind of taught me, like, you're going to have to be in situations where a team's like count on you, and you can't show a team, especially you. Second, I already know the second you see somebody's heads down, that's when you know, like, yeah, we got them. And that's what I've always known about you. So it's like, and I've learned that. Yeah. So I learned that, like, the second that somebody sees you down, they're just gonna pile off it, and that's exactly what happened.
All right, good answer. All right, now coming back to your playing days, you know, both of you guys, who do you think some of your biggest rivals or rivalry games were in the season? Like, who were some of the ones where like, all right, we play this team this week, I got to make sure I do X, Y, and Z? Like, who were some of those teams or some of those people that you faced during your time playing?
All right, I'll definitely say Coach Shaw. Like, that's, like, especially, like, in the most recent years, definitely him. But that's the only thing. I mean, but I remember that Broncos versus Colts game and the Broncos versus Chargers game. Like, that felt like an NFL game.
You talking about the spring championship? We talked about that in the other episode.
I remember that when we came out and he had the little siren playing. Like, I felt like I was about to go into war. Like, that, and it's like, and I was just on the sideline, but I didn't really care because I was just like, we were winning, so I was just along for the ride, and I learned a lot from him. But playing against you, like, my team, because they would be, like, the Texans, for example, they looked every week. They didn't look at it as, like, oh, we're playing this person, we're playing that person. Like, they didn't look at it like that. It was just like it's not the game. So they didn't really know, like, the history behind flags. So they didn't know, like, how much really meant to me. Because they weren't really counting themselves out, but they were kind of not expecting themselves to do it. So, like, they weren't really trying to prepare the right way because they're kind of just like, I mean, they mercy ruled us every time that we played them. So, like, what's the point? So, and I was just like, and I prepared the life out of them. I'm like, if this happens, this happens. Man. And I prepared them all week because, I mean, I've coached you for a little, so I kind of know, like, you know, what's coming sometimes.
No doubt.
So I prepared them. And then whenever we came out in that game and they just came out, and I told them before, because I told them what you said, and I think Marcus heard it. I didn't hear it. And he told me, he was like, yeah, we're about to drop 40 on y'all. And it was
a fact.
And it was like the second. And it was like the second I told them that. The second as we were going over defense, I think I second told them that, like, they were all laughing. They all were just like, what? Like, they all, like, locked in. And then after that, like, I told Marcus, I'm like, they're about to do something. Like, I can just feel it. And the whole game.
That is dope.
The whole game, you could hear him. The whole game. Like, me, Marcus, so, like, even Eric and Gianni. Gianni, like, he's real quiet. Like, he's to himself. And, like, he was, like, I remember he batted something down from Josh, and Dom. And he was, like, talking to him. I'm like, where's this come from? So, the whole game, because even when you said that Terrence alive, I'm like, Terrence did help, but, like, they all contributed in their own way, and no matter if it was
that is true. And no
matter if it's a way of them scoring or whatever, they just show, and that energy, like, helped them
for sure.
Because even like Eric, he wasn't, like, he was playing, but he wasn't playing like where he normally was. Because normally he would just be back at safety, but we were going into man. So, and I had Gianni playing on Dom, so he wasn't where he was thinking he was going.
And that's a mismatch every day of the week. So that's why I didn't understand how it didn't work.
Because Gianni, not only is he quick, but he's he's rowdy. Like he
True.
might not see it, but he's a very like hands-on like DB. Like if he like I'm telling him, and I'll tell his mom like if he actually like trains to be a DB, like he can really.
Because
be a
he's
DB.
fat. He got good footwork.
Oh
too,
my
so
God. He
yeah.
was top 4 in the
Yeah, I
fastest
know. I
man.
remember
Top
you were
4.
saying that. Yeah, I knew he was fast. I still felt like he just didn't. He couldn't cover Dom because Dom is Dom.
I
So,
mean, yeah, Dom
but
is taller, but it's like, but if Gianni
Dom
can
is
get up there,
fast too, and he knows
he's
how to get
fast.
in and out of
Yeah,
routes.
Yeah,
But so
yeah, you're right about that. But I
Yeah.
mean, it was just they all. I think everybody scored besides Eric. I think Eric one of his got called back. But I
nah,
think,
Eric scored.
No,
Well,
he
he scored
scored- he
that.
scored
He
back
scored
in the
that.
end
He scored the
zone.
out, like the out route. He scored the out route.
Oh, yeah,
The
he
last
scored the out
touchdown
route.
of the game,
Yeah.
he scored back at the end zone.
Yeah, he scored the
Yeah,
out route.
So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure everybody scored, and they all, and even if it wasn't like they all, and they didn't have their head down. They didn't like, and no matter who made a play, they were cheering, no matter who it was. And I feel like that's helping because I mean, as an undefeated team, I wasn't expecting y'all. I wouldn't expect if I was an undefeated team to come out like with a bunch of energy. Oh yeah, we're in all game, blah, like because y'all are undefeated, so y'all kind of just like another game, especially like Jordan and Dyson. So I know that they weren't really having the energy, and I told them like if y'all just get that energy, if you get in their head, like
Y'all
got
started
it.
early.
Yeah,
the
we
first
started
drive.
the first drive.
Because it was like 3 plays. It was like 2-3 plays where y'all kind of got to midfield before the first.
Yeah.
And that one play that Cash threw and Dom just missed it and Terrence ran up the sideline.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like y'all had the momentum after that.
Yeah, and then the
because it
second-
happened fast.
Because I knew that was in your head, but I'm like, I don't want them
no,
to get
not
too
me.
cocky.
So don't say that.
It
Don't say
was
y'all.
the team,
Yeah.
period.
in that head.
No.
But the whole game, because I was yelling
Listen,
the whole game.
Listen, I don't want to stop because he got a good point. The entire game, and you might not believe me, the entire game, I'm like, we're not losing this game.
Oh, 100%.
It wasn't until like it was another drop where I was like, all right, at this point, there's nothing else
over.
we could do.
Yeah.
But I promise you, but that's one thing about me. I'm super.
Oh, yeah, you're locked in.
I never care what the
Locked in.
score is
Locked in.
until it's like, oh, I know I can at this point because of the time. But the whole game, I was like, all right, that just means it's gonna be a shutout. That's all that meant.
Yeah.
So I was just like, so as soon as they scored, if you think about it, as soon as they scored, Dyson scored like the next
Right
play.
back.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like,
was
it's
boom,
just
boom,
gonna be
boom.
back and forth. We just got to figure out how to stop them. But it wasn't until the second half where I was just like,
got
nothing
ugly.
worked. Because matter of fact, right before halftime, where we had a chance, and I don't remember. I think like Terrence might have batted it down in front of Dyson, or it was a drop. I don't remember what happened. But when we had the chance to tie the game 18-18, and we missed the opportunity, that's when I was like,
It might be
because
a
we
problem.
needed to score before the half, and I was like, we didn't do that. That's when I first was just like, this might not go the way that we want. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So.
But like they all had that energy coming out the game, and then that one pass that Cash threw on that post to Terrence over Dyson.
Oh
like
my
when
God, that
I
was
tell
nasty.
you, I like that almost brought a tear to my eye.
The
'cause
best
it was
throw,
just beautiful.
the best throw was the last one where Terrence turned his body when Dom
yeah.
gave up.
Yeah.
Like he caught it and Dom would just stop. Dom just stopped watching it. When Coop made this expression, because it's on camera. Like Coop just shouted or whatever. That pass. Listen, Cash. First of all, hats off to Cash. I hope he is watching this. He had a so it wasn't just Terrence, because of course Cash got to get him the ball. Cash was outstanding.
Yeah.
That was his, to me, because again, I watched all y'all games, but again, that's the one game that I was a part of. Cash was freaking outstanding. So I feel like a lot of credit needs to go to him. Even though I still feel like Terrence was the MVP of that game. But Cash was the one to get him the ball. Cash really did a lot of the work. Because it wasn't just Terrence that he threw the ball to.
Yeah.
So
And I feel like he understood it because like I said, and Dyson Dom, I know they're watching. It's like y'all are great players. So this isn't me knocking y'all out anyway. But every player behind their greatness has something that they lack. And
No doubt.
and
Oh,
it
for
has-
sure.
And even I do. Every single player has something that they lack.
Right.
And I'm telling Cash because he's like, oh, but Dom and Dyson, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but they have this that they're not good at. They
That's
have
true.
This, that they're
That's
that
true.
they're at
That's
disadvantage
true.
at. Because I'm like,
That's
because
true.
with Dom, I'm like,
No.
we get in his head, he's out the game. Because that's how I was when I started playing. And then I'm like with Dyson, he can't jump, and Terrence got some hops, and
He
I'm
does.
like, and it's like
Terrence
I'm
is
like,
jumping out the
and,
gym.
and like Terrence, he can get up there. So it's like if you get him a good decent enough ball, he's gonna get up
No
there.
doubt.
And then
he did.
and that's what happened. And then when he threw that little post pass, like I almost wanted to cry. And then NFL flag reposted it.
That,
and
so
everything.
I didn't see that until
so-
afterwards, and that's I'm sorry again, not to cut you.
Yeah.
I didn't see that till I think it was. Matter of fact, Mignon was like, "Yo, did you see this?" Because again, I was just so busy during the week, and I didn't see it till like.
But that's why I shout out to NFL flag, and one for recognizing the play. Two, Cash's mom. Shout out to Miss Tiffany. Because NFL flag, every Tuesday, they're sponsored by Toyota, so they do a Touchdown Tuesdays, or Toyota Tuesdays. So every week on their Instagram page, they put a highlight of somebody making a play, and I guess Tiffany sent that in, and then NFL flag.
That wasn't even the best
him.
play, though.
She tagged him.
Yeah, so again, there might have been other clips around the country, but for them to pick that one
Right.
that week,
That's cash money.
shout out to
Yeah,
them
that's
and Cash and Terrence for making the play. So,
sure,
but yeah,
for
that
sure.
was special.
That
to see.
was.
And I feel like it was just how much it meant. Like that just like meant because that signified. Because the second I seen Dom drop his touchdown, I'm like, got him. Because the second, because we know all know if y'all were up by like 2 touchdowns, he's not dropping that.
Yeah.
But we were talking the whole game, and he was like, I need this, and it just came out, and I'm like, got him. I'm like, that's game. Second he dropped it, I'm like, we got him, and I knew it. And that touchdown, that cash through to Terrence, that just meant as much as the players did. Like I almost after the game, I'm surprised I didn't cry. I was just so like loud and oh my God, we won.
I love
like,
that, man.
but
I love
yeah,
that. I was
that
happy
meant a
for you,
lot.
even though like I told your mom yesterday, like I was happy for you because that's the one thing I said. I said I was mad at your mom, but at the end of the day, like I was happy for you. I just hate the way it looked. That's all. Like I just hate how I felt like my team didn't come to play. Was I happy for you? Yes, as a player, as I coach you, like as a player coming up in the league, you got to look at that story and be like, I love that story.
Yes.
Like a player, a young player who just recently retired is now a coach. But first of all, no first-year coaches do that. So like what you did was just like no, it'll never be replicated. No first-year coach ever does anything. I think Kurt might have been the other exception. In the first year?
No, but
was that the first year?
He went to the championship.
Oh, okay.
But he lost.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No first-year coach does that.
It was so smooth the way you did it because y'all really showed like an underdog story. Like if it was like a movie to watch it from beginning to end,
it would be
y'all showed,
unbelievable.
like literally like
that's a Disney story.
Literally, y'all came together, band together, into the season. Y'all faced the hardest competition y'all probably gonna face.
Yeah.
And then boom, y'all take it. Like y'all really played beautiful team football from
Yes.
beginning to end of that
I
game.
could
And
not
that was
agree
that was
more.
beautiful. Like
I could not
even the
agree
way y'all
more.
like even the excitement that you said on the sideline, bro.
The
To see y'all
excitement,
score
that's what-
and y'all look like a dog.
I
I'm like,
think
this
that's
is
why that
beautiful.
clip took off because if you hear Tiffany, you hear the whole sideline.
it's like a
excitement
roar.
in there.
Boom.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
love that.
still to this day, I call Terrence George Pickens all the time because he reminds me just like
Yes.
George Pickens.
Ain't he?
And it was just the energy. that
He
brought.
stopped talking because the first two
yes.
weeks he was doing a lot of talking. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes.
sure what happened, but I couldn't agree with because the one thing about Terrence, he don't drop nothing.
Bro, nothing.
Do we got any? I mean, I don't know if you noticed off the top of your head, but he might be the one.
Oh, no, he had a drop.
Oh, did he?
I know he said it one. Yeah.
That's
has one?
crazy.
I mean, he didn't play that much of the
So,
season.
but the
I
thing
know he
about
said one
like
drop.
the one thing about I don't think anybody on her team dropped anything that game. I think there was maybe a bad snap or something, but I felt like you guys played like a flawless game. There weren't any like penalties or nothing.
Yeah.
So
Y'all got
other
it
than
big.
where I still caught this where Terrence did grab the back of Dyson, and I did see it, but I'm like, why post it now? And I promise you it happened. Like I wasn't making it up. He did because
That
it was with his
call.
offhand. He grabbed the back of Dyson and he hit the ball. Should have been pass interference, but whatever.
We ain't
So-
gonna, that was the greatest call of all time. Whoever
wasn't,
that ref
bro. You
was
missed
who
it.
called that
It's okay.
beautiful
You missed
ref,
it.
man, I think
missed
as a ref, he's a great ref. Honestly, I think he's like one of the greatest.
It was 4 y'all. Y'all 4 missed it, but whatever. So rivals, that's what we talking about. So
I gotta before I give my rivals, just to piggyback off y'all, but y'all gotta give Styles some love. That little boy played.
Please.
It's
I'm not,
so
bro.
I'm a heavy. So
I'm a
so
hater.
I'm heavy on like when a player shows you anomalies. Like when you show me something that's extremely athletic or something extremely great to me. So y'all know I coach Deacon. So
Right.
to coach somebody who's undersized
That
but plays at a
stature.
big height
Nope.
is a different ball game.
I agree with
For
that.
him to
I
be
agree
so
with that.
small, and then
Yes.
Styles wasn't like Styles. I think Styles is a phenomenal player, but Styles wasn't a Deacon coming in. Like Deacon, we all seen it from the day one. Like, bro, you might be the best player in the league right now. It was one of them type situations. That's a true. Like,
he showed that during the year.
He showed it, but he emphasized it during that game. Getting 5 sacks during a championship game is
And
not
Styles is
normal.
again-
That is not normal.
But
That is
listen
unreal.
again. You got and I understand what you're saying.
That's
you
unreal.
gotta look at us not having the person in the
But
middle.
how many
That's
times
like,
have you
hold on.
sacked in the
That's like,
season?
but I'm just saying. That's my point. You gotta look at when Patrick Mahomes doesn't have Travis Kelce. Is he getting sacked more? Absolutely, because that's his person in the middle of the field. We don't have our person in the middle of the field.
But-
We're at a handicap.
But even with Patrick Mahomes out Travis Kelce, he's still gonna win. When
Is
you
he?
have if you have a TJ Watt on the other
What,
side
is
and
he?
TJ Watt making it harder, It's
No, I disagree.
I gotta
but
give
this
credit where
is-
credit's due though. Like he had a safety in the game, so his sacks didn't just matter for yardage; they matter for
Yes.
points too.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
even if you would have scored the same amount of times as them, his 2 points made it a 2-point game extra. So that changes the dynamic of what's going. Like if I'm coaching, and I know you know it because I get a lot of my tips from you. So I get a lot of my coaching skills from you and Coach Rez in the whole. So I know both of y'all as coaches, when that 2-point conversion does happen, that whole game changes a different way. Like the way I'm coaching that, the way I'm going about it is going to change.
Yeah.
To be on the opposite side of that through a sack, mentally, like when you come with we're in your head, mentally now I got you.
No
now
doubt.
your
Yeah.
quarterback's crippled a little bit because now it's like, whoa, like this got sacked by the like, he
Again,
just sacked
a
me again.
lot went wrong on our side,
Woo!
and that's just all
Y'all
I'm
was
saying.
having
A
fun.
lot went wrong. Again, not having Ray.
That was a
It
heart
just-
piece. That's a
I'm
heart
telling
piece
you.
without him.
And
That's
then,
just a heart piece without
listen,
him.
the thing that y'all don't understand, defensively, we're a totally different team when
Yeah.
you have Ray.
Yeah.
Only because Ray is now into cover, and
Yep.
then Aiden can blitz.
They can
And it
blitz.
just
It changes
changed.
the
Because
dynamic
again,
of what
if you
our team
think
does.
about it, because this is something that me and Donnie talked about, we gave up the least amount of points
100%.
ever.
Ever. Yeah, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. So again, not having Ray, so like we was at a handicap.
That
So
having Ray
I'm
does
not
hurt.
taking away nothing
Ray-
from the
Oh, that's
Texans.
real.
But again, it's just like everything that could go wrong for us happened.
went wrong. Yeah,
So,
like
yeah.
don't get me.
You would have preferred to play strength on strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
See what really
Yes.
happens. I get it.
But that's where the
Absolutely.
testament came to y'all. Like I speak the testament to y'all too, and like although y'all lost, it was still good to see y'all players come out and compete like that because y'all did have a hard time. Like y'all were the top dogs. It's never easy being the top dog going into any playoff situation because you know one loss, I'm no longer the top dog. I'm out of here.
We
So,
stumbled to
but
that
y'all
game
stumbled and
'cause we
still
shouldn't have
ran
beat
though.
the
So,
Lions.
Yeah.
yeah, y'all,
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We shouldn't have beat. If Dom don't get that
Yeah,
pick
that's
six,
very
we
true.
won't beat the Lions. So
I
that's
hate to
the
say
whole
shouldn't
point.
have though because if your players play to that
Bro, we only beat
expectation,
them by
they
like
should
8
have.
points.
That's
if
so y'all
Dom
shoulda won.
doesn't
Y'all
get that,
should-
if Dom don't get that pick six, we lose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
very
saying.
true.
That's the whole point. First of all, Dom played lights out that
Yeah,
game,
beautiful
and Dom won that game for us. If Dom doesn't get that pick six in that
It's
game,
a
we don't
different
even go
ball.
to the
Yeah,
championship.
it's
Plus,
a
he had,
different.
I think he had 3 or 4
He
picks.
had 3
Yeah,
picks
he-
that
he
game,
isolated
but he had
that
the
game
pick
completely.
six that helped us win the game.
Right.
But in that game, y'all didn't have a Ray or a Dyson. So that's where we got even crazier.
Again, that's true, but I'm just saying, like, not having your best players in the biggest moment.
It
is
hurts.
just like,
It hurts,
how
yeah.
can you coach? Well, I don't want to say how can you coach, but how can you overcome? Like,
changes
so
it.
it changes
Yeah.
the whole dynamic.
It does. It
so
does.
that's kind
It
of what
makes the
happened.
whole mental,
so,
like-
you know. And I
Yeah.
think we only scored 18 points.
Yep.
Like, we haven't scored like we gave up the most points and we scored the least amount. So again.
And
it was
I
just
ain't
our
gonna
worst
lie,
game.
that was y'all,
The worst
y'all
game,
had a
bro.
team.
Hey, come on, bro. We
Yeah.
averaged 40. If we only scored 18
averaged
points,
40, that's
we do. We
different.
averaged 40. We only gave up like maybe 10 points a game. It was like 68 points for the total.
in the season.
Bro,
Yeah.
crazy.
that's what I'm saying.
That's unreal.
That's the difference in the whole thing.
That's unreal.
That's all I'm saying.
That's
man.
unreal.
So that's what I'm saying, man. Had we been able to do it again, it's just like it'd have been a dope.
But even
Yeah,
when Ray
'cause
was there, like you said, your receivers that were catching passes,
Oh yeah, they had y'all
they didn't
beat.
catch them when they had to.
I just feel like
to me, I don't
hate to
know.
be that guy, but like Ray's a beast. Like
Ray is
Ray's
a monster,
beast,
man.
But I feel like if you had Ray, he's still winning that.
We
Like,
running it back next year, though. That's all I'm saying. I don't want nobody to see us next year because we running it back. Because I got Ray, I got Jackson from the Texans coming back. He will be QB1. We running it back next year, bro. So
Yeah.
we
Listen.
running
But
it back
even when you
next
think
year.
about like offensive coordinators, like when new players come in, they change almost their whole playbook.
Oh, yeah.
just
No
for
doubt.
that new
No
player.
doubt. No
so
doubt.
whenever people aren't there, that is your top dog in your team. That's going to change. But my thing about Styles is like he's right here. Like his head is up to Jordan's hip. So it's like
Yeah, like, it
my
changed
thing
the
is,
ball
like,
game.
Like look how little he is, and in the amount of impact. My thing that I love about
He made a
Styles, and I
huge
don't-
impact on defense.
Yeah, and
He
I don't
did.
even think that he realize he does it, but like he knows when the dog needs to come out. Like he knows on what plays. Okay, I need to wake up because there's been plays before where like he's like it might be first, second down, and he's like running slow, and I'm like Styles, I know how fast you are. You come out, and the third down, I'm like it's time. He goes in, sack. Like, and it's 3 sacks in a row, and that's just him. And the one thing that I hate about Styles is that like during practice he will he's just goofy, so he's always talking, and it's like I want to just be like just sit down for a second, but it's like you're gonna go the next game and have 5 sacks, so it's like I
Right.
can't, like I
Yeah.
gotta play you.
Man, that's
You
my
need
favorite
the
part
players.
about him. I think that's truly my favorite.
But
part
that's just
about
his
him.
personality,
No
like,
doubt.
and that's one thing that I learned about coaching. Is like I didn't want them to be robots. I didn't want them just to. I want them to be like their normal selves. Like
doubt.
not, I
I
mean,
like
not
that.
just. I ain't gonna say like, I want you just to come to practice to play around, but I want you to be your normal self and be comfortable with yourself because it's gonna help you, learn more. Because my practice isn't just. just run plays, go over defense, and scrimmage. But my practice, I might be going over drills one day. I might have you run. I might do 2-minute drills. So, like, I'm doing different stuff. And,
No doubt.
And if you're not comfortable enough to, actually feel comfortable with doing stuff, like, you're not going to want to learn. You're not going to, take that stuff in. So that's what I was thought about the whole season.
Okay.
Let's talk about coaching in general. So, first of all, we're blessed in our league to have alumni that come back and want to coach. They've asked and say, hey, can we come back and coach? So both these gentlemen are prime examples of that. Josh right here was the first, like, teenage, like, older coach in the older kids division. And then, so this is like a bookend moment for us because Josh was the first. Winston is not the most recent. And to have them both here is great. And so what made you guys want to decide to come back and coach in the league anyway, just as, after being a player in the league?
For me, it was, so we got to be, you guys actually blessed us with the opportunity to be player coaches when we were in the spring. That's back before the spring was like as crazy as it is now. But we did that, and after that, it was more just like, I feel like I can coach better than everybody else. Like, I feel like truly, like, a lot of these guys are older than me. They got a lot of more experience, but they don't have experience in football the way I do. And I know, like, just watching them day to day and watching them actually do their thing, I had like a year off where I was just sitting there. And I got to see it. I'm into high school. I'm like, no, I can, like, destroy them for real. So my first year coming in, it was just like, I know what y'all do from playing against y'all for the most part. So I know, like, and as a player for me, I like knowing what my coach knows. So, like, I want to be involved in that hand because I know, like, if I'm a smart young man, like, me being smart can change the outcome of how this game can go. Because football is a lot of mental and a lot of physical. But people forget the mental side sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah.
But coaching was just more like, now it's all mental. But for me, it was just like, I get to, like, beat on the coaches who think they can just, like, really coach for real. Like, y'all can't really coach.
I like
show
that,
something.
man.
Like,
I freaking love that. Yeah.
I could definitely show y'all something different. And I'm not gonna lie, so far, like, man, he the GOAT. He's the GOAT of it for sure. Like, he as far as coaches, I think personally, because I got to see them all. As far as coaches, especially being younger coming in, he the GOAT. Man, he got it. You first year winning the champion, you got it.
That's crazy.
And a tournament, you got it.
Yeah, that's
you got it.
crazy.
But
and a tournament on top.
And
of
that's ridiculous.
No
Honestly,
doubt.
that's in the same month.
Yeah,
like,
crazy.
tournament, and that's ridiculous. But yeah,
That's a fact.
he shows what the mindset of any coach who you young coming in got. Like, I can beat on y'all for real. Like, and I can show y'all, like, coaching does not have to be an old man. It's not the presidency. Like, I can show you it's a young man sport for real. Like, it can happen. It can happen.
So, same question. What made you want to come back and coach?
With me, it's like, I feel like whenever, I retired, got, the big jersey on the wall and everything, like, I'm thinking about it. And then my mom's like, so that's it. And I'm like, that ain't it. Like, because I feel like I've put too much into flag to where it's
I
like,
love that.
I'm like, I can't just end it now. Like, I feel like there's something else, for me. And like I mentioned, like, whenever I'm with, whenever I was 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old around there, and shout out to Coach Good or Greg McGee, he taught me a lot. Like, cause he wasn't a flag coach, he's a tackle coach. So I'm in there with Julian Duggar, that was a quarterback at Penn last year, and I'm with like high school and college players. So like, and he's teaching me like how to read coverages, how to read a lot of stuff. So when I'm coming back to flag, and it's like, and I started playing, I really feel like after that is what made me level up, cause it made me look at flag a whole lot differently. Like, I don't just look at it as a flag game. Like, I'm looking at like tackle things, and it helps you with flag, honestly. And I thought about it, and I was like, when I'm done now, and it's like, I'm playing basketball, so I'm not gonna be really playing football for real no more. So it's like, what's I'm doing? I'm like, I'm a coach, because it's like, there's no way I have all this knowledge up here and all this experience playing, and I don't bring it back to the youth or do something with it. Like, I don't want it just to go to waste. And how I always, like, with my players, because I told them, I'm like, I don't want y'all to be robots. I don't want y'all just to me to call a play and you just be like, oh, this is what we're doing right now. I want you to really realize it. And I mainly Cash, and I would tell him, I'm like, I don't want you to think I'm calling a play just to do it. Like, I'm gonna call a play off of down and distance, like the coverages that we have, like all that. So I don't want you just to think it's just a play call. I want you to think about like why I'm calling this and when you're looking out there. And one thing about Cash, and the reason why I love Cash and why it's so easy to coach him is because he's just like me. Like, when I was his age, we're almost around the same.
I was about to say, y'all like the same
age.
age. What do you mean?
We're like the same age. But he's new playing flag though. So like when I first started playing quarterback, I was around like where he is right now. So I'm like, and it makes it easier because I've went through the same struggles. And I feel like when he went out there, he never realized like how much he needed to really take in to make a play work for every single play, every snap. And I know he's probably just out there, he's walking out looks out, Hut call it. When I'm going, I'm like, no. When you go out there, you gotta look. All right, what's the difference? What's my cover? My cover one, my cover two, my receivers. What's my matchups looking like? And then you gotta kind of envision the play out on the defense so you can see how it works, so you know where you're going. And I feel like once I told him that, especially in that championship game, that's why I started clicking. And I feel like when like younger players, like no matter how young, like 14, like whenever you're playing flag, I would encourage any of my friends my age to coach, because when you go back to like, because you're gonna know you don't know always how to make a coach once the one play time, because especially in high school you don't, no matter, it don't matter how good you are, like you're not just gonna get in the game just because of how good you are, like so you gotta know how to get yourself in the game. And I feel like when it comes to coaching and stuff like that, when I go to coaching now I'm playing basketball, it's like now I kind of know what I need to do to get the playing time that I need, and like the certain things stuff that you do. So I encourage anybody to do that, because especially fresh out of playing, it's almost like you're going right back at it. So so you remember like playing against you, playing against the Chiefs, and it helps. And I really feel like coaching when you're younger, it helps you because you learn a lot more. You just have a lot more experience coming out there. So
I think coaching also helps you understand football. So a lot of people don't understand football. Even football players at the highest level. I say this, and I say this so well, and people don't understand what I mean half the time. But I know y'all will get it, right? Football players can be in college or the NFL and not understand football, because they look at it from their position only. When you're a coach, you understand what football really is. Football is just like life and just like every other game. It's like chess. You can't play a chess game being the wide receiver. You can't play a chess game being the linebacker. You have to be every player. And when you're a coach, you are every single. You're so involved in everything, because there's nothing you can't be involved in. Once you're not involved, you lose. And I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. If I'm playing chess, if my queen gets knocked over and I lose every pawn, I can still win this game. I got other pieces. I just got to figure out how to do it.
No doubt.
And that's where the difference between like a good and great coach come in. And I know like our league I think our league now, especially like in the past like 2 years, you see a lot of coaches starting to get that a little bit now. They're starting to understand it a little bit more. They're starting to get it, because I think they're seeing older coaches and the newer coaches coming in like Winston's and the people, the Marcuses who are younger, like, okay, so that's the ticket. I still got to win this game even if I can't win it, but I can win it. And that's where like, I don't know. That's why I love seeing them all coach. And like, even when y'all coach now, like I love seeing them great coaches with the mindset of let's find a way to win, even when the odds look crazy against us. Because there's never going to be a time. I was 16 coaching, like against 30 and 40-year-olds. Nobody. There's some people told me like, bro, there's adults on my team when I first started, like, bro, there's no way he about to coach the team. Right. And that was something brand new. Like people's looking at me like, bro, he's a kid himself. Like, but my team respected the life out of me. And we came as a whole different group, started a whole new culture. Like, Seahawks culture was the thing. Like, we breaking huddles 1, 2, 3, letting the whole team hear us. And that was something different. Like, you bring a different element to football when you start to say to yourself, I can do it whether I can't. And that's why I hope other coaches to start doing it. I can do it no matter what's going on. Facts. I can do it. Facts.
And to piggyback off of what you said, like, and that's what I tried to get them to understand, because not like every player doesn't really understand always what they're doing. So like you might think because a play doesn't go to you, you still might be a big part of the play. And there's like, because like for example, I play called Rainbow. I heard you probably heard me say Rainbow before. And all it is just two verts and then somebody's coming up the middle. And then I remember, I think it was Eric, because he was one of the players that run the vert on the side. Who'd be like, he would tell him Cash, he was like, I hate when we call this play because it never goes to me. And I'm like, but you're a big reason why it works, because by y'all both going out, them safeties are clearing out, so that middle's wide open. And he was like, oh, I get it now. So it's like, and you have to understand, like, you got to play football. And what I tell them, like, you got to play football, but you can't play it as, oh, I have to do it, I have to do it this, I have to do it my way. It's just you have to be like, okay, I have to do my part, but I still got to put it in because it's going to work for my team. So it's not like every play is just because it's not going to me doesn't mean that it might not work because of me. Like, it's almost like I might, there's been times where we ran a play and it's worked, and I've told the person that didn't score, like, good job. Like, I'm going to commend you because you're the reason why it's working, because of, you know, how you put concepts together. And I just feel like with coach like me and Marcus, I'm so glad that I added Marcus on the team, and I appreciate the mess out of him because he plays tackle. He was just fresh out of a tackle season. And I feel like when I started, you know, learning the, you know, tackle scores like cover ones and learning stuff like that, it made you look at flags so much
totally
different. It makes you look
once
at
you
it
understand
completely
coverages,
yes, like once you really understand ball, like how
Mm-hmm.
football players understand ball, because and like Josh said, there's certain players that have no clue what they're doing. A lot of players just do it just because of, you know, oh, I play football and now I'm known. So I mean, and me and Marcus, we're both like that. We're both looking at plays and defenses like in the tackle, perspective and stuff like that. So whenever you're bringing that to other coaches, they don't know what to do because
Right.
it's different stuff. Because flag has been obviously flag's gonna evolve, but what's gonna work is what's gonna work. So coaches are gonna run the same stuff, and especially when you look at Coach Kev, when you look at the Chiefs, they've been coaching for years now, so they're gonna consistently do what that works. And when I brought Marcus and he understood and he told me that I was going to tell him this, and he was like, "Bro, we're both," because I'm looking at flag I don't look at it as how I looked at it when I was playing for Coach Reggie. I'm looking at it as I'm playing for Penn Hills. I'm looking at it as I'm playing a tackle game, and I look at it like that too. And I feel like when we brought that, the Chiefs were just like, I don't know what to do because it's different stuff. Because everybody looks at flag as just flag. They don't take much count. It's like if you want to win, I would literally go. I would go on YouTube, and I remember 4 times. I would do this almost every week with my team. We would go on YouTube. We would do film study. I would do film study with either a Dolphins playbook or Texas playbook, and they would just go and place because I want them to understand what they're doing. Because if you don't understand what you're going to do, it's just not going to work because I want you to understand it. But it's not just for me just to win me a championship, win y'all a championship. But whenever y'all leave, y'all going to already understand ball. Y'all aren't going to have to go over read it in coverages and have to learn stuff. You'll already kind of know what's going on. And I feel like with that, and that helped them because Cash and Terrence, they're like this. So
they was already locked in.
Yeah, they were already locked in.
QB
So they're gonna have their
receiver
own stuff. So and I told them all the time, I'm like, there should be drives where I don't need to call a play. And I'll go back to that 7-on-7 flag game for the little All-Star weekend. We didn't call a singular play, but we just all knew ball, so we all knew how to get open. There wasn't a singular time that we were there was, of course, based off seeing what's working, hey, you do this, you do that. But it wasn't like we're going on a playbook, looking at plays. We're just getting open. I'm if y'all I want y'all to learn the game so that, therefore, y'all understand why I'm calling stuff, and therefore, y'all can go out and y'all already know what y'all doing. So, therefore, when y'all coach, y'all just oh, when I play flag, this will work because I, remember doing it. Because a lot of my teammates, and I've seen it myself, they just go out there and play, and they go off of, oh, I got to do this because my coach said I got to do this because, coach said I need to call this play, I need to run just like this. And I told him, I'm like, there will never be a singular time if Cash and you, and I got this from you, and Cash or Terrence, if y'all change your play and it works and I understand why you're calling it, I'm not going to be mad. And you would tell me that all the time.
All the time.
Because you knew that I realized I know what I'm talking about. Yep. And I'm like, if y'all just go out and y'all can play ball and just actually understand it, not be robots, and y'all can play y'all game, of course I'm instructing y'all what to do, but, it's really out there. And I would say this to them all the time. Whatever I see from the sideline and what y'all see on the field, two completely different things.
No.
It's a way, it's two
you
different
even tell me
worlds.
that all the time.
It's two different. And I'm like,
I don't see that.
Yeah, I'm like, what you see over here and what
Yeah.
you see right here,
Yeah.
it's two completely different things.
I get that.
And I feel like I said, I really thank Coach Goder for that because, I learned a lot of stuff from him.
No doubt.
And I learned how to, look at the game different. Even when I'm watching NFL games, I'm like, y'all shouldn't even call it that. And I look at it so much differently now. And even my mom's just like, what are you talking about?
Right.
So it's
but you see it through a different lens now.
You see it through a different lens. And I know, I think probably the first time that, I did that with you was I think we were in Florida. I don't know if it was the first or second time. But you had been on the sideline and we had called a play. And I looked at it. It had been something that I'd never thrown to. It hadn't been the target receiver basically. And I threw it, and then you were like, "Why'd you throw it there?" I'm like, "No, coach, you're on the cover one, so I'm gonna throw it to that side." You were like, and I think I was 12. You were like, "What are you how do you know that?" And ever since then, you would be like, "If you need to change the play, go ahead." Because I would call some, and if it didn't work like how I wanted to, you'd be like, "It's cool," because I know that you know what you're talking about, and I want that. Then that's how that. Cash be and stuff like that. So
it's crazy.
That's good coaching though.
I must say, as a
good
coach,
coaching.
I feel like I feel like you do this once your kids get a little older. As your kids get older, you let the reins go a little bit more.
Yeah.
But just building a quarterback. So I've never had a problem building quarterbacks. I built my little brother as a quarterback. I built Troy into a quarterback. It was not hard because you just got to let them play football. But I think a lot of coaches don't know that. They're like, I got a quarterback. He don't know how to play it. If I keep forcing them to throw it here, here, and here, you're going to keep getting them picked up. That's the only thing
I don't understand
Yeah,
that.
I don't
understand
that.
You can't. You're forcing a vision that nobody else is seeing, or that they won't see. And then I'm not gonna lie. So you talk about other lenses. I got to be a ref too. So
Right. So you get to
being
see
a
it all.
ref, coach, and player, I
Yeah.
believe got from the middle of the field to the officiating the field. I believe seen it all now.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Right.
and that's why I kind of see where you guys come from when y'all ref and y'all get to see like perspective wise, like these coaches really do not know how to coach.
They're
like,
clueless.
at all. Like,
But it to hit to what he's saying. That's why what he's saying makes so much sense.
a lot of sense.
Like there's a lot of coaches. You be like, what are they doing? But again, you can't say that. But it's
Nah,
just like,
you can't tell 'em that.
what are you like? What? Why would you call that? What are you doing? And I had conversations about some of our own coaches.
Yeah,
Like, why would you
honestly,
call
man.
that in that situation? That's not good ball.
See,
So
I call myself a terrible ref because I'm not gonna lie. I always am about the advancement of these players and even the coaches. Like,
how's that a terrible ref though?
because you're not supposed to be giving like the, you know what I mean? You're not supposed to be
You
giving
always
advice.
supposed to give advice.
Yeah, advice, but you know, I'm one of them guys. I'll tell you the whole thing. Listen,
Nah, you supposed to know.
I'll tell you
You're
the whole
supposed
thing.
to do
Listen,
that.
man, you
That's a
shoulda-
great
Well,
ref.
especially if you're in like a youth organization. Number
Yeah.
one,
It's the
you're-
different
you're,
vibe.
you're supposed to be like a mentor for the kids.
Oh, yeah,
and
100%.
to help them out. I can see maybe not high school. You're supposed to be more judgment. Like,
I'm doing it in high school
Doesn't-
too. If I
I
see
see, but
something,
that's where my problem
Okay.
is. I lie with the. Let me give you the keys to success, and then I'll like let them rock. But I feel like coaches need. I think there definitely should be like more like workshops for
Yeah.
coaches. 100%.
bruh, I
workshops.
could not agree with
Workshop
you
for
more.
coaches.
Wait, again, and it's not. It's I don't think it's just to like pour on a coach or
Nah,
whatever, say you're
100%.
doing a horrible job. But some coaches just don't know,
Don't know.
Yeah,
or they're
'cause a lot
just
of them
they
are
just
just
might be a
dads.
dad,
Yeah, a lot of
right?
them just
A dad
parents.
that just up there and they just really don't know, or just like watch football but don't understand it. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's a lot of the problem that we have. But and I've thought about this before, and I even said that to him. I said I don't want to coach. I want to mentor. I want to have workshops and say, what are you looking for?
Right.
Like one question I
would
have for
love
you
to do
guys.
that. I
Like
really would love
coming
to
up
do
with
that.
your offensive plays, because you both offensive minded coaches.
Mhm.
Right.
How do you come up with your offensive schemes? Because let me start with you. Did you have like a playbook already before the season, or you just came up with
I
everything?
just came up with it.
But how? So how did you do it? So walk everybody through how you came up. Again, new coach, new season. I got the Texas. I'm in the 11, 12, 13-year-old division. This is some of the stuff that I need to come up with. So walk us through like your concept, your what you thinking of coming up with your plays.
So originally, and I really commend myself for this because originally, and I fault myself at the same time. I didn't go to not one of the little training camps. So when I
Which was
drafted-
crazy.
So when I because,
That's why they
Hey,
wow.
wow.
That's why your
That's
team was trash.
wild.
But whatever.
Look,
That is
but this is
wild.
what happened.
That's
But this is
wild.
what happened. So I didn't. So I wanted to coach, but I knew I wasn't coaching myself. So this is my first year. So like I know I didn't want to have to do the offense side and defense side. So I'm like I want to have somebody coach with me. And then I was like, Tamir, do you want to coach me? And that's where some stuff
Bad
went
choice.
downhill.
That's my guy, but
Then he was like, I might be coaching a Penn Hills like little league teams. I don't know if I'm coaching yet. So whole time I didn't know if I was gonna really do this. And then he was like, are we actually gonna do it? I'm like, yeah. And then the draft night comes and I'm like, I don't, cause he said he had been there a few times, so he seen a few people.
Right.
So I gave him the name, and then Caden from the Lions, and he makes me so mad to this day. I remember I seen him because I think I went to like the final one of the little training camps. I seen him. I'm like, oh, he's nice, and I'm like, yo, bro, what's your name? He was like Marcus.
Oh my
He
God!
told me the wrong name.
my!
And then
So wait, so you really thought that was Marcus? So it makes sense
okay.
now.
I didn't know that.
So that's whenever I'm drafted, I'm like, y'all like, wait, what? I'm like, oh. I'm like, wait, what I do wrong? Like, that's the good kid. And then he says, so yeah, that's all that was. But when it comes to my plays,
Okay.
but with plays, I really just thought of like I didn't want to think of like everything that you did because as a coach, when I first came in, because I didn't really think about it with Coach J, and I really got this from him. I didn't want my team to feel like they just play it for a normal flag team. I wanted them to feel like y'all play for the Texans and Coach Winston coach me.
No
And
doubt.
I wanted to be a different type of thing. So I wanted to bring like my tackle mine and like hearing stuff like that. I wanted to bring that to the game. So I would just look at I would just think of like coverages, and what I kind of did was I would put like a bunch of different defenses here, and I'm like, if I'm gonna face this defense, what's gonna work? And I would kind of do stuff like that. So I mean, the run plays are kind of simple. You just gotta kind of have somebody that can actually play running back, because not everybody can play running back how you're supposed to. So the running plays are easy, but when it comes to pass plays, I was just looking at like how would I do it against this coverage? Or like I said, I would even go on YouTube and look at like certain offenses, because I feel like my offense really reminded me of the Dolphins a lot, like how their offense is.
Okay.
Like Terrence being Tyreek Hill, Marcus
Being
and Marcus
Waddle, yeah.
and Marcus.
Okay.
I like the whole offense was really planned like to be centered around Marcus because
Really?
yes, and what was crazy was that like you don't really see with Marcus, and I can.
I know Marcus is dope.
He's a
Like,
beast.
I know he's
like,
dope.
his footwork and like his
Bruh.
routes, like it's all cause dad. Like his dad will be training with him all the time. And I remember
24/7.
the one,
Marcus is dope.
I remember the one game he had a bunch of drops, and his dad came up to him after the game. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna get him right, I promise."
Right.
And
His
dad,
footwork
yes,
is
his
crazy.
footwork's
He was dope in the summer.
That's why I don't understand how
Cam.
Cam didn't use him like that yesterday.
Wasn't
Like
smart.
Marcus would have been. I'd had Gerald on one side and Marcus in the slot, and I would have been killing the
Killing
slot.
the
Yeah,
world.
and Ray in the
Killing the
middle. Like that's
world.
again when we talking about coaching. Again, I'm sorry to cut you off. That's just what I'm thinking because he see me and him like we see the field the same way, the players the same way. So I understand what you're saying though. So.
Yeah, and I'm like with Marcus, like his footwork, and then it's like
Crazy.
and I told his dad, I told his mom, I told everybody, I'm like, I'm telling you, if Marcus like just stays out of trouble, and if he continues to play receiver, he will be nice in high school.
Absolutely.
And I'm calling
Oh,
it like
yeah,
right now,
absolutely.
like because the fact that you like already know like all this work, because we'll be doing ladder drills, he's killing it. Like he knows exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, for the fact he be doing this, and he's what I think 12 or 11, something like that.
11, I think.
Like at that age, I'm like, yo, you're gonna be nice.
Yeah,
And then the
crazy.
only thing with him was just his confidence, and
okay,
he
was
would
it?
just
Okay.
see, you know, the players being bigger
Bigger
than
than him.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's
how
the
he,
key. That's
and
the
it was
key
just
to
his
success
nerves
right
every
there.
time.
Gotcha.
So I would start praying with him before the game, and I would just
Okay.
talk to him. I'd be like,
Nice.
you know, just like it's not like they're not gonna hurt you, like they're not gonna kill you. So I'm like, I would, you know, talk to him about the game, and then he ain't dropped no more passes, and
No
he
doubt.
really started to come alive. And I feel like when you're coming in with players, you really got to understand like. You have to understand your player. You can't just call a play because not everybody's gonna do it. And that's why I feel like I couldn't coach a little league team because of my mind. Like
Yeah,
I'll be
no
trying to
doubt.
have
I
them
get that.
learn all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's something I gotta coach all the team. But I feel like when you first see your players, it was based off that first practice. Like we didn't go over not one play. I
Okay.
just kind of,
Talk
you
to
know,
'em.
I would talk
Got
to
it
them. We
together.
went through drills, so I
Okay.
could kind of see like
Who could
where's
do
your
what?
footwork. So I was like seeing who can do what.
Okay.
And then when Terrence came, I'm like,
It was a wrap.
cool. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
cool.
wrap.
Like I already got these plays, and in
Yeah.
the same position that Marcus was at, Terrence was at. So
Oh, okay.
so I didn't have to change
Do
anything
anything.
really.
Okay.
So it was just understanding my players, understanding who can do what, whose strength is this, you know, and stuff like that. Because you might see it like a player's size. Like think of like Styles and Marcus.
Right.
When I first seen him, I'm like, oh, this gonna be a long year. Like I'm
Right.
like, I don't know what to do. But then you would never think Styles is gonna go to be an MVP candidate. Like,
Right,
you wouldn't have thought
right.
that. You wouldn't think Marcus how little he is, and you know, based off me not really ever hearing his name, that how good of his footwork
It's
is and his-
crazy.
and his hands.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was his nerves because in practice he didn't drop a singular pass. He would never drop a singular
Okay.
pass in practice.
Okay.
So it was like the second I understood them, and then I would just look at, you know, like thinking about Coach Golden, I would almost look at it as like an offensive coordinator type of
Okay.
perspective, and I would put them together like that. So yeah.
So I guess we'll just go to you when we talking about just offense because I only got one more question. So
I ain't gonna lie. I come on offense, the showstopper offense.
Okay.
Named after me for a reason because first play came from Madden.
okay.
And I was
Oh, I did
what,
get a little mad.
12.
Okay.
I used quick slants. And if I know y'all
Okay.
probably heard me a billion
Yeah.
times. Quick slants.
right.
But after that, it was also all me.
Okay.
I already knew what worked. I already knew
Okay.
how it worked.
Okay.
I just had to put it together.
No doubt.
And it was more of my offensive playbook is built from left to right, quarterback, of course, in the middle.
Okay.
But your left side is going to be more my speed side. My right side is going to be my pass catchers. It sounds crazy, but
Okay.
it's meant to
Whatever
be
works.
for a mental for me, right?
Okay.
I can switch it however I want because I know how it works.
No
But
doubt.
your slot, my slot is a movable person. He's gonna move from either
Both
side.
sides.
It's just gonna kill
Yeah.
you because
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna watch where your blitzer's coming from,
Yeah.
and whatever side you're weak on, I'm gonna
That's
kill that
right.
side every time.
Yep,
and I'm a flush. I mean,
Okay.
granted, when I draft just to fill them whatever spot I
I
want.
do it the same
Now,
way. Makes sense.
For my situation, it's crazy. You said my first draft pick was Deacon, but
Which it should have been.
but
Deacon was nice.
He
though.
was. I'm just gonna be
He
real.
was young.
But him being so small,
Right.
I knew I was gonna fry everybody.
And
Knew
you
I was
did.
gonna fry everybody because
Yeah,
it was
you
like
did.
you're not gonna believe he's tall enough to break you down the field.
True.
And there's sometimes people was like, oh yeah, it's a jump ball, it's over.
Right.
Deacon, one hand this thing, let's go score again.
Man,
All right,
yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
boom, touchdown. Confidence is key. I tell everybody,
That's a
confidence is
fact.
key. If you tell
That's
your
a
player they're
fact.
the greatest player in the world and they believe it,
Yeah.
then you got the greatest
Yeah.
player in the world
That's a
right there.
fact.
You gotta
As
make
long
them
as you
believe
believe it and they believe it, we winning right now. And I won strictly off of confidence.
Okay.
And well, I mean, my creativity in the mind. We're
Okay.
gonna talk about
Yeah.
that part.
Okay.
And Styles, I feel like Styles, I'm calling it next year. Y'all can go back to this clip. Next
MVP.
year I have MVP. I'm telling
MVP.
you.
I already seen it.
Next
I
year,
seen it.
bro.
I seen
And
it
I'm
last
like,
year. I'm not gonna lie. I seen it last year.
Aiden is coming back.
Okay,
Aiden is
but
winning that,
listen,
bro.
That's
but
a
Styles,
great.
I'm
That's
like,
a
Aiden's
great
is
one.
coming
That's
back.
Yeah, that's
I
a good
mean,
one.
granted,
That's a good one.
I already could tell y'all who's going to be MVP. 'cause
Aiden.
I know him. I live with him. His name is Ronald Ronald Hankins. I just want y'all to know that
Okay.
now. I just want y'all to know that
You gotta
now.
get them hands together.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna talk about that.
And
That's a
attitude.
different vibe. That's a
No
different
doubt.
vibe. The attitude
Yeah.
really gonna get. We ain't gonna talk about. I'm trying to tell y'all what's gonna happen. Though.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
pure talent. The talent. Yeah, I'm telling y'all what's gonna happen. That's just gonna happen.
Okay.
But with Styles, I feel like if I get him, I'm gonna train with him this summer. I'm gonna, actually have him learn to be a receiver.
Coach him in the
because-
spring.
That's all.
If you
I'm
could, coach him in
I'm
the
gonna probably
spring.
coach him in the spring.
Yeah.
But with Styles, I just feel like if he can get his route running and his hands up, cause like you don't need to be 6 foot to be a good receiver.
No
like,
doubt.
Like think of
Yeah.
all the short receivers in the league. And I'm like, you can be one of them. And it's just like
Right.
we already had, the Marcus and the Terrence and stuff like that. But when I draft my team next year, because Terrence is leaving me and Cash is leaving, so that's hurting me a little bit. But I feel like when I'm drafting my team, I don't need like, oh, I need a deep threat, I need a slot, but because you can really turn people into somebody. Because think of Johnny, I know he ain't come in thinking he was gonna be guarding Dom and the championship. He didn't come in, but if you can tell a player and you can just see, like, if you just have to see a little light in him, you don't got to see like for Styles, you don't got to be able to see like, oh, he knows how to break down and he's super fast.
No doubt.
But because and that's another thing with him being super fast. If you can't break down, none of that's working because you
Right.
can run right past them
Yeah,
and none of
miss
that happens.
every single
so
time.
it's like with every player you get, it doesn't matter. And that's why whenever like I got the players, my mom was like, "Do you really want to do this? Because you
Yes.
you ain't see none of these players, you don't
Right,
know." But it's like I feel like I have the confidence in myself, and I know you can turn somebody into a completely
Into a
different
straight
player. You
weapon.
can turn somebody into some completely different. Now, of course, players gonna come in with I want you to go here because it's true to believe like almost all of my team wanted to be a quarterback, either be a
That's
quarterback
crazy.
or
That's
so
crazy.
I had Gianni wants to be a quarterback.
Really?
Jackson, when I first had Jackson, he wanted to be a quarterback.
Of course.
And then who else? I think it was
could throw that.
Styles wanted to be a quarterback.
What?
Yeah, so like, so y'all gonna have y'all visions of what y'all was gonna be, but like, I feel like I've seen enough, and I've
Right.
seen players that I looked out of, and
That'd
I
have
know,
been a terrible season.
and I know,
That'd
and it's like I
that'd be
know
terrible.
like how to transform into somebody, and I've
Right.
seen like I know players who have perfected a certain position, so I can like look off for him, especially in flag. But and I commend myself because I've changed a lot of players, but just nobody really talks about how many ups and downs I had the whole season, and how many
Oh, we know.
changes.
We watched it.
I think
that team was trash, bro.
Yeah, bro.
They weren't trash.
No.
They weren't
Y'all wasn't-
trash.
y'all
Y'all was probably the fastest team, but just like you say, y'all didn't have any height, so you were always at a disadvantage on defense.
Yeah.
So
And I feel like I think I started off with 7, then the 6, then the 5, and then Eric got hurt. Then I was at 4, and then I went back up to 6. So it's like I had Jackson and Chevelle, and then Chevelle left. Jackson came off the team. There were certain people that might have came on my team. They didn't come on my team. So it was a lot of ups and downs. But it's like as long as the player is coachable, and I tell people this all the time. It's like I would rather take my team. Like if I got to pick right now, or at the beginning of the year, if I could have my team versus the Jets, I would pick my team, and that's an honest opinion because
I love
Now
it.
you
I
lying.
love it.
I'm so
Nah,
serious, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Hold strong,
Because
brother.
them kids, they want to learn, and there's certain kids that just want to play. They feel like they're entitled. They don't want to be taught anything, especially for flag. They don't be taught. But them kids, they want to learn how to play the game, and they're listening and they're soaking stuff in.
Yeah, but I think the advantage to that is that they were underdogs.
Yeah.
And that you had something to fight for.
Yeah.
With the Jets, on the other hand,
They
I-
were like,
maybe it comes from the coach too, but maybe it comes from like we're just gonna show up and win.
But I loved it. I loved it.
So,
What?
yeah, man, but anyways, another thing in our league that I like, we have our annual honor ceremony, and both of these individuals, and we also named the awards over the last couple of years after certain players, and these two individuals have awards named after them. Happen to be the same award, the most improved award in respective divisions.
For real?
Yeah.
Hey, you
But-
a beast, man. You was a beast.
But how did you feel when you first found out that you were gonna have an award named after you, and what does it mean to you, and things of that nature?
And can you present this year your award?
Wow, that was directed right at me.
Of course it was.
We'll get to that. The 1 year
I
was
had a
his fault.
baby.
We'll get to
That wasn't my fault last year.
Okay.
Other than that, if I'm being honest, when I first heard I had an award, I did what I always do, man. I told y'all I was the GOAT, man. I tried to tell y'all I was the GOAT from the beginning. I don't know why y'all playing with me,
No
man.
doubt.
But for me, it was more like a testimony, like it's a good testament to who I was, and I really appreciate it. But it not just that, but The most improved, when I got it, at the time, it's going to be so real. Man, they clowned me like crazy. What?
For
Every
real?
single person. And it's crazy because that was my first year playing.
Right,
So I won an award my first year, so I was just turned up.
Right.
Granted, there was some awards. I mean, we ain't gonna talk about it. But they laughed because they was like, bro, there's no way. You the oldest on your team. You was really killing it for real, but they only gave you most improved, so you can't be that good. But I've been a trash talker my whole life, so I told them the same thing. I got the award from beating on y'all, so I don't understand how y'all don't get what's going on.
That's
Like, if I
true.
was the newest and y'all still got an award,
That's true.
right? But it made me look at other kids, too, when they get it. I'm like, bro, if they thought it was trash, when I thought it was turned up when I get it. I want the kids to feel the same way.
Right.
But then there's just kids, like, they see your name on it, they like, it's Josh Anderson.
Right.
I got a dope award. I'm
Yes.
like, bro, you got the greatest one, bro. Like, you don't even know. You might be better than MVP to me, man. I'm telling you, better than MVP to me at this point. So
Now, for me, I'm going to start off with the first times when I got the most improved, right? So, Coop called my mom. He was like, oh, yeah, we're naming this award after Winston. Could he make it? Now, there's two different ceremonies. There was obviously, I think at the time it was 6 to 9 and then the 10 to 13.
But it was the same day, though, right?
It was
Yeah,
the
but you
same
had them on
day,
2 different
But
times.
yes, but he told me to come for the 10 to 12, 10 to 13 one. So I get there, and then everybody's like, where were you? They had an award after you, and they're like, oh, I think it was who was it? I forgot who it was that they had named it after me for, but then they were like, oh yeah, this kid was awarded for you, and everybody was there besides you, and I'm like, and then I look, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, so it was like I ain't get to take a picture of this little kid, and he's like, who is this random kid that's on my award? Like I don't even know who this kid is, but it meant a lot because it's like it was a testament to how much I had changed, because it's like I went from sitting on the bench being a center for the Broncos, stuff like that, to being a quarterback, making two championships. So it meant a lot, and especially after all that work I put in with my quarterback coach and how much that he taught me. So it really was like, okay, so now like the world's yours. So whatever you want to do with this, like
it's
you
up.
can do it.
It's up.
Yeah. Like I feel like there's so many more questions that we have, especially about the season. But again, since we need to wrap this up, I'm gonna ask this last question. We always ask our guests, and because of the 2028 Olympics in LA, it's going to NFL flag. So we're saying like, hey, if you're the coach of the team in the 2028 Olympics in LA, who would your starting 5 offensive players be from the NFL? So who's your starting 5? You putting together a team, you're Team USA. Who are you putting in from the NFL?
You got that
You
one.
want me to go first?
Yeah, you got that one.
Y'all really want me to go?
Starting 5.
All right.
Yeah,
If I give you my starting 5, who I'm going first? All right.
I gotta think about this though.
So I don't know where everybody's getting this Lamar Jackson from. I'm so sorry. I need somebody to throw the ball. And I think Lamar's a great talent. But, bro, you're not about to run the ball 24/7. And
don't
there's
know
some
that, but
listen.
all right.
I just know. Let's talk about flag football, right? The people we're facing are going to be the fastest soccer players you have seen in the world. We're not putting Lamar Jackson out there, bro. It's not a racing competition.
But listen,
we need
hold
to
up,
beat
Josh,
them in football.
Josh, if he can do this against the fastest players in the NFL,
Coach
why
Shot.
wouldn't he be
Coach
able to
Shot.
run
as a
Coach Shot.
quarterback?
You can if you get that
look at the
handoff.
rules, though. Look at the rules you're presented with. You're talking about a rusher who's a soccer player. Bro, the 40 times that we present ourselves are nothing
okay.
to
this
a
is your
group.
team.
There's
This is your
10
team.
soccer
Okay,
players who
this
can
is your team.
outrun Lamar Jackson easily. I'm
That's
just going to be
true.
so real with
But
y'all.
yeah,
Like,
I understand what he's saying, because you got Lamar Jackson. He was like, yeah, you can handle the ball if you can run.
what
But
about the
why-
throwing the ball?
But it's
You
like,
ain't-
exactly.
You got receivers for
exactly.
if you
Why
can't
would
hit
you
the
do
target.
that? Like,
David was Lamar Jackson this year.
But-
And he-
but if you think
hold
about
on. David was Lamar Jackson this year. He ran for 1,000 yards.
And Jordan was your quarterback, and you would
No,
never.
I'm talking about in the little league.
Yeah, but if
he
you
was
had to
Lamar
pick-
Jackson.
All right, but if
Hold
you
up,
had to-
Taon's year. Taon was Lamar.
So are you
Both
picking?
of those are
you
MVP
picking David
candidates.
or Garrett as your quarterback?
I'm picking David.
You're
what?
cap.
Do you
You're cap.
see how
Coop,
David?
are you picking
What?
David or Garrett as your quarterback?
I'm picking David.
Both in
bro.
their prime. Garrett's arm is unreal.
If I have the opportunity to run my quarterback,
I'm saying as quarterback, not as a
listen,
player first
I would
pick.
have
I'm
did
saying
that
as-
with him if he was faster. What?
Okay, this is where your difference is. As a quarterback, if you're talking about just a quarterback to throw it,
just a quarterback. I'm just talking about just a quarterback
Just to
and
throw
all.
it, it would've
No,
been
I'm talking about a
Garrett.
full-on
I'm taking
quarterback.
away that if I have the opportunity to pick between a faster quarterback and one that can throw, no disrespect to Winston, I'm taking a faster quarterback because you can
And that's
elude
why
the
Winston
pocket
won the
and if I-
championship.
But this
'Cause
is
he
okay.
wanted
but
to
this
play
is
with
my
a
thing,
quarterback,
right?
quarterback.
When you
I'm
say
so-
with Tayon, right? Tayon. So when you're running the ball with a quarterback, right? You can run the ball and you have receivers that are just I don't want to say okay, but you have the best receivers in the world. So why would you bring these receivers out here just to run the ball
To waste my time.
And I understand the concept.
And it's like you might as well use
I
it.
understand how you looking at it that way, but I'm not saying they're not getting the ball.
Yeah, it's not,
Well,
it's
I'm
not
not
that.
even-
But like, okay, but think about, let's say Patrick Mahomes or Justin Fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can do both. So I can pass the
You
rock.
see
to,
what- you see?
so it's like I can pass
Exactly.
the rock
I
to
want a dual
the
threat.
best receivers in the world,
a dual
and then
threat.
I
It's
can
Lamar
run
Jackson.
Okay,
He
let's
can't throw
really
the
talk.
ball.
Let's really talk
He
about
can
this.
throw the ball. He's
the MVP candidate.
Lamar's an MVP candidate off his feet. I respect.
Yes.
I respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's
but
wrong
I
with
respect. I respect everybody for what they do. If I'm taking MVP Tom Brady versus MVP Lamar Jackson, I'm picking Tom Brady every time because I know you're going to win me the game. Listen, hear me out. Hear me out. That feet stuff works for regular season games to win me yards and to get you MVP championships. But there's not, obviously, and I can say this wholeheartedly and know I'm right. It obviously does not win playoffs because every running quarterback who's a running quarterback only has lost the playoff. Name one.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson is not a running
He's not
quarterback.
running.
He's a
Yeah,
passing
he's a
quarterback.
scrambling
He's elusive.
quarterback.
And
He's
elusive in the
elusiveness is
pocket.
Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Russell
Yeah, that's-
Wilson's,
yeah, that's
the
different.
Deshaun. That's you being able. I can get away from you.
Yeah.
I could go 10 yards on the field if I have to, but I'm really protecting my arm so I can toss to this receiver who's
listen,
an all-pro catcher with the
Newton was
one
there.
hand.
They lost.
Cam Newton lost into a who?
Who am I
Tom Brady.
thinking?
Hey, no, he lost to
Jalen
who?
Hurts. Jalen
He
Hurts
lost
was
to
there.
Peyton Manning's.
But I'm
Jalen
just-
Hurts lost to who? Another throwing. They're losing to
I
throwing
understand,
quarterbacks.
But I'm just
so
saying,
throwing is the way winning.
Josh, it's not just the quarterback to win the game, though. You
Yeah,
gotta
but,
look at everything that
but
goes into
obviously
it.
y'all are showing me that running quarterbacks can't win. If every single time a more rushing quarterback is facing
I
a
mean,
passing quarterback and the passing quarterback's winning, bro, history just proves itself time and time again.
Okay.
Cam Newton's an anomaly. Cam Newton's an anomaly
And
athlete.
so is Tom Brady.
And so is
though.
Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's winning. Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl against a running quarterback, and when you need to run the most, it doesn't work. When my defense wants to step up and play defense, I'm gonna knock your head off every
That's
time.
the point.
When the Steelers step up and
That's
play
the
defense,
point.
the Steelers,
That's the point.
If you took Lamar Jackson just in Steelers games, you would not have this conversation with me because
Okay.
he's trash in Steelers games.
Okay.
The reason why is
He hasn't won a
because
game
we
in
have a real
Pittsburgh
coach
yet.
who
Yeah.
says, "I'm Mike Tomlin.
Right.
Stop letting this man look like an MVP and make him look like what we want him to look like, a rival. Make him look like he's trash, dude.
Okay.
Play football the way y'all play football. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
And they
All right.
play football and they make him look like he cannot run the ball. Derrick Henry got stopped. There's 2 MVP candidates on one team, and our team made them look like they can't do nothing.
Okay.
The reason why is because the defense plays the game.
Okay.
If my rusher is faster than your quarterback,
Okay.
and you think you're about to take off for 40 yards every time, you have better footwork than him. You play soccer. Go chase him down the field and sack him
We're
for
going
40
to
yards.
see. We're
Okay.
going to see.
So if I had to start- if I had to have my starting five, right?
So we just start 5.
This sounds crazy.
Okay.
I'm going with Patrick Mahomes or Justin Fields.
Okay.
So
I'm not-
I
I'm
might
I'm
pick
not
Justin
debating.
Fields. I'm gonna say Justin Fields because he's younger. And I bang with dudes. He's Stellar players. I'm a Stellar guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Justin Fields. My receiver one's gonna be George Pickens. I want a dog on me. I want a
Okay.
straight
That's
dog on
2.
me. My receiver 2 is Josh Anderson because I love myself that much. And I saw give me
All right.
2028.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm really
We'll put his
look,
picture up there.
and look, y'all tell me what. You give me 2028.
That's 3.
I'll get myself into the end zone.
That's
What?
3.
I'm the guy.
We need 2 more.
Let me get either Travis Kelce as my center because I
Okay.
do want a big body. I just
Okay.
want just for the tight end position.
Okay.
Or hear me out. Let me get my man from the Steelers, number 80. I don't know what's up with
you talking
Darnell
Darnell
Washington.
Washington?
Nobody
Okay.
said it yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I'm
Okay.
snap the ball and don't move for 10
Don't
seconds.
move.
Okay.
Just say it right
Delay,
there.
delay. Give me my touchdown every time. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have the
He
greatest.
go out jump everybody. Okay.
The coach of that team, because y'all always say starting 5, but y'all don't say the coach. The coach is the most important part. I'm a coach of the team too, because I'm just him. That's
You're
part of my
supposed to coach
start.
the
That's
team.
part of
You
my
pick the team.
starting 5.
So is Travis
wants to
Kelce
know.
on your team or
Oh,
Darnell
no,
Washington?
I got Darnell Washington.
Okay,
We're gonna
so
let
we need
Travis
one more.
walk.
We need one more.
We just need one more?
Yeah, one more play.
Man, y'all know I'm gonna say Tyreek Hill, man. Give me the
Okay,
fastest
all right.
man in the league. I
You
just
want-
need
you want
one more
everybody sing?
speedster.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so what's your fact?
Me, you stole my quarterback. I was gonna say probably Justin Fields.
Oh yeah, I know
You can
some
still
quarterback.
put him on your
Yeah.
team, like
Put him on
you.
your
so
squad,
give- yeah,
bro.
give me Justin,
Put him
give me
on the
Justin.
squad.
Okay.
Now look, at my receiving running back time thing, give me Jalen Warren. But reason I say this,
All right, that's
reason I
different.
say this is because think about the play that Jalen Warren had last week. I think he had to get 10 yards. He probably got tackled, like somebody was wrapping him up like 4 yards. He starts limboing back another 4 yards. If you can move your hips like that in flag, you're gonna get me.
You're
So I'm
getting
like,
crazy.
so I'm like,
That's true.
give me Jalen Warren.
Okay.
So I need some more on
All
my
right, 2
center.
Steelers.
I had
At
Carter winning
center.
reception of the year coming from the running back position, but that's a beautiful pick, bro. I'm mad. I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
It's true.
Yep.
At center, I
That's
would have
true.
said Darnell because he's a big body.
Darnell Washington. Okay.
But no, at center, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go defense offense. I want Micah Parsons at Mark Parsons at center.
I like that.
Smart. That
bruh.
is so smart.
I like
Because
that.
He's
Yeah.
because he's a big
Yeah,
body,
he is.
but he can run.
Okay.
So
Michael
he's
Parsons.
a big body, but he can run.
Okay.
Now receivers is where it get hard. Receiver, I'm gonna go.
You a QB. You
Give
gotta
me
get some
Garrett
goal.
Wilson. Give me Garrett
Garrett Wilson,
because
okay.
he's a little twig, but you don't
Okay.
gotta be super bulky.
Yeah,
and flag,
his
and
route
then he
running
can
is
get loose.
exceptional.
Ridiculous.
Okay.
Now,
All right, we
my
need one
deep
more.
threat, give me AJ Brown. Because AJ
Oh,
Brown,
nice.
he's a bigger one,
He's huge.
but he can run.
So you want a bulky squad.
Because
See, I already
my
had
thing
GP,
is
I
because
ain't
if
want
you're
AJ
bulky,
Brown.
because therefore you can, because people aren't gonna be scared. They ain't gonna be sitting there breaking down in front of
Yeah,
you.
that's a
But
good.
you
That's
can
a good
still run.
choice. That's a
Not-
good
So,
choice.
yeah, that's my squad.
I do
Okay.
think when people made these teams, like I'm a faithful, always gonna stick with my league over anybody. So I watch everything y'all do. Right? I've seen every single one. I've seen everybody's list. I ain't gonna lie. I think the best list, other than I think R2 is like the best too. I'm just gonna be real. I think
Okay.
other than that, whoever picked Minka on their team,
I
I think
don't
that was
remember.
Max.
Was that Max?
I think that was
I think
Max.
that was Max.
That was so smart because,
Yeah.
bro, a safety, a receiver.
Yeah.
Bro, we don't need to play offense. We already
Yeah.
got a receiver. We already got.
Yeah.
But if you can lock somebody, you
Man,
gotta think
what?
about who you're facing.
Yes.
Like you gotta think this is the Olympics.
Yeah.
Who is coming to the Olympics to face us? That's
Yeah.
what nobody's really looking at. They're just
Yeah.
like NFL star. But that don't work if you got this speed that y'all are thinking that's
No
gonna be
doubt.
so overwhelmingly real.
Okay.
Yeah, against defensive players, this speed looks
Yes,
unreal. But
okay.
against, I already know what they're coming with. Because when I face an adult flag football, there's nothing but soccer players. And I'm telling you right now,
Right.
me, Dom, like we're two of our premier players, and we know how to play flag football. It's not
Right.
hard.
Right.
As a receiver, we eat up. But on defense, it's a whole different ball game because these dudes are just as fast as everybody we've seen.
Right.
Sometimes even faster.
Right.
They know how to really work their footwork, and they
Okay.
dip and fly and spin. You're going to see all this in the Olympics.
No
Nobody's
doubt.
saying that because
Okay. Yeah,
they're
that's
not
a
used to
fact.
seeing it. A lot
That's
of people are
a
not
fact.
used to flag. We're used to flag, so I got to
Right.
see it on an adult level
No
too.
doubt,
I got to
yeah.
go to these tournaments. I got to
No
face
doubt.
the Mike Vick teams. I've
Okay.
seen what they get into.
Okay.
And I know what these dudes pick for. They're
No
picking people to completely burn soccer players. They don't
Yeah.
care about football because football's not what you're playing. You're playing flag football.
Yeah.
It's more closer to like a basketball, soccer
Soccer,
football.
yeah, that's
mission.
true.
It's
Yeah,
not really a football. You just need the knowledge of the game.
Right. For
And as long
sure.
as you got the knowledge of the game, but I got people who can completely,
quick and athletic.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm just trying to beat you. Like I'm not trying to sit here and have a game with you. Like I don't like games. I don't know if everybody like. I don't like playing games. I don't like having them shootouts. I like killing you in the first minute and let you know. You lost to Josh again.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's do this again. Let's
Okay.
keep building. And that's what they're gonna have to do it. And they're going.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Because and I'll bring this to my other point. Reason I have a bigger team, right? Think about if we have still Micah Parsons at Blitzer, right? And what Coach P would always say, run if there's like a center running in your way, don't get out the way, run into him. Think about a center's not gonna be able to be functional. If I got how tall is Mike Parsons? Like 6'4", like
6'3",
280. But run a 4'4".
Bro, come on, bro.
I'm not standing in front.
Yeah.
And then extra points
Come
gonna be
on, bro.
so easy. All I'm gonna have to do is snap the ball, turn around.
Turn around.
I'm not
Yeah.
standing. If I'm like a
Alright.
soccer player
I like that
from
list.
England, you're
Okay.
you're 6'1", like 180. I'm not standing in front of you. Like we're gonna eat. But plus, so I got a bigger team, so y'all are gonna be scared to guard us. But we're quick, so it's not
Quick as
like
life.
all of, it's
What?
not all of
Okay.
us. We're not just bunching around, but we can run the rock every time because you're not standing in front of me, and I don't even got a load on my shoulder. I just gotta run straight, and if you stand in front of me, you ain't gonna be okay. Like you're gonna get hit up a little bit. So it's like.
The best rusher in our adult league is Damon. I don't know if y'all. I think
Yeah,
Damon
Damon
coach.
is a
He
good
coached with
shot.
a.
Yeah.
Damon's huge, dude.
Yeah,
like,
big dude.
Yeah.
and he's older
He's
now. I
fast.
didn't see him jump over people sitting at the position, like
Word.
just doing anything. That's when you start realizing like that rush position is different.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Michael Parsons, you're used to rushing quarterback
Yeah, no
with a
doubt.
line. There's no line.
Yeah.
Man, your team about to do it. He about to slap the ball to the
Yeah.
air. Might do some
Okay.
ugly
catch
stuff.
it out,
Out of the air.
running, like that's gonna be crazy.
Myles Garrett would have been a good decision for that.
No doubt.
Man, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, there's some picks people could have picked. They wasn't thinking outside the
doubt.
box.
Cause think about like Jordan that played for the Redskins. It would be the same thing. All because he's
that's
so
my
big.
guy. Yeah,
all you
that's
gotta do
my
is turn
guy.
around,
was-
catch the
that
ball.
is-
Like
That's my guy. Yeah.
that's all you gotta do. Like
I
that's,
wish Deshaun
it's
Watson
blown
was
out the
still
water.
good. I'd have put Deshaun Watson as my
Yeah.
quarterback. I'm telling you,
He's in the tank.
woo.
But if Darnell Washington is watching, bro, we want you to be on that Olympic team.
I
2022.
need
Got
to
to.
use him more because
Got to.
he's what 6'8" moving like
Right,
he's
crazy.
He
6'3".
300
scored twice now,
pounds.
right? Scored two,
No,
3 times.
I don't think he scored at all.
Yeah, he scored twice.
I think he scored- I
He
think
scored
he
our
did
Scored
first.
one- I think he scored
Yeah.
one
He
time.
He
I
scored
think it was
the
in
first
Raiders or
touchdown of the
something.
game of the year He scored our first
Yeah.
touchdown with
Yeah.
Justin Fields. Justin Fields threw a touchdown to him, and then
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago he had one.
Who?
Darnell
Oh, he
Washington.
didn't have a touchdown. No, he
It wasn't a
should've-
touchdown?
No, he was afraid to go up and get that touchdown. He
Oh,
got
this
intercepted
is
in the
my
back
man.
of the end zone.
I was at
He
work. I
should've
couldn't
put-
go lie. I was at work. I ain't gonna lie. I was
Okay.
at work.
I thought he did have a touchdown.
I thought he had one like 2
I
weeks
thought it
ago.
was just the
though.
Raiders. I don't know. It don't matter.
That might have been against the
Yeah, I
Raiders.
think
Yeah, I
he had a
thought
touchdown.
he had one.
Catches.
Okay.
No.
Dude's huge though.
But last year when we didn't use him,
Oh.
I was sick. I'm like, he's 6'8".
He's gonna be used.
Because even
He's
at
gonna be
the
used.
training camp, and I seen him, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, he's
like,
gonna be huge.
He don't look.
I
like, he
know,
don't
man.
even
He's a
look
big.
real.
Yeah, he look like a
is
lineman.
huge. Yeah, I'm like, he's a lineman, and
big
he's
dude.
I ain't
jumping
gonna lie.
over. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
So since we got a little like time left, can we ask y'all a question?
Okay, cool. We got
All right. If you had to pick one moment out of, cause y'all been this is going on like close to 25 years now, right? Y'all
Mine
getting
is always
close.
gonna be the
21
same.
21 years,
question.
but go ahead.
Mine is gonna always be the
but,
same.
no, but go
answer.
ahead.
All right, so now since Coach Shaw said that,
No.
if y'all had to pick one moment that can't be the same answer that
Okay.
you already used before, what would it be?
Well, but no,
Like-
first of all, nobody's asked us that
Yes,
question.
yes, they have.
I think somebody. I
Somebody-
thought,
Yeah,
But,
because
like-
they asked me because we talked about the one. I don't know if it was how it was phrased, but it was the same game
Well, let me
where
not-
Winston was in there.
let me not ask greatest
no,
moment.
not
then.
that. Okay,
but
so-
what's the one moment that you think changed like the way you look at the league? Like what's the moment that made you think like,
I know what I
yo,
said.
like this gotta be like we gotta do this. Like we gotta stay with this no matter what. Like this is our league.
Aaron to that. I think when we started traveling,
Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna say it.
and the first elite team was cool.
Yeah.
What? Cool. Well.
No, the first elite
Second
team.
one.
The second one was better than the first.
The first elite team, they went there. It was like we didn't know what to expect.
They were 13.
Yeah, but that's-
Because y'all forgot
Yeah.
somebody could have played.
We didn't know.
I would have changed the game.
That wasn't our team.
Now,
though.
first of all, your birthday's in July.
All
The
right.
cutoff's in August.
August.
So you
Yeah.
couldn't be on that team anyway.
But
But
piece.
and then the second year, both those players came back.
Okay.
And then we went to the championship.
Yeah, that was a
But
beautiful
it's
time.
all you could say that, but for me, the most emotional I've ever gotten was at Valley Forge, the Valley Forge tournament, and in Philadelphia, and we had 3 of our teams win, and we had, and so that was like the last tournament.
We thought we was going to L.A.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that to go to, so that was the first to go to the NFL Flag Championships, and so at that tournament, when you saw Rashad's team win,
Yeah.
and then a couple
Brandon.
hours later,
Mhm.
you saw Brandon's 9U team win, and then
And
right
Jay.
immediately after that,
That was a beautiful
Jay's
time.
Yeah.
12U
Jay's
team,
team,
12U
man.
team win.
Yeah, crazy.
You had 3 teams going, and so for me at that moment, I'm thinking we have 3 teams going to at the time Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and then later on they moved it to Vegas, and then Coach Reggie wins in Michigan. So you had 4 teams of ours
Mhm.
going to the NFL at the time NFL Flag Open, but whatever NFL Flag Championships in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen here, if you would have said to me in 2005
Mm-hmm.
that number one we'd be doing tournaments, I would have like nothing thought of. And then our teams, our kids who've been in the league for the most part, have been in the league all this time, going to Vegas to go compete for a championship, and for KDKA to come and interview
Oh,
us,
yeah.
or to
Different, man.
when I reached out to them, and for them to say this is something of importance
Mhm.
that we want to even cover a local flag
going
team that's going to represent Pittsburgh in Vegas. That was the moment where I said,
This is it.
this is special
Mhm.
and this is great.
Mhm.
And I know Jay's team was the closest. They went to the semis and were that close. But just to be there
was amazing.
was something that is special.
That was a time,
No
man.
doubt.
Coach Shaw?
No, my fault. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Well, I think moment in the league was that game where we played
That
the
game?
Bron- That was to me. It'll ever go down as the best
That
game.
was-
50
that
to
was
56
deep,
or
like-
something. 50 to
Oh,
50 to
yeah.
49 or something. It was just crazy. That game, as far as moment in the league, was just
That was
crazy.
amazing.
We
Yeah.
couldn't stop each other. Coach Jay, me,
No, that was
and we was
amazing,
already
Trojan.
rivals. We was became elite coaches. So again, the relationship. Winston was on the team. Then we had Jay and Beckley. We had Mark. Like all those players was kind of on the
Crazy
team. That was
game.
just the craziest game we were ever a part of.
Y'all introduced,
Just
like, the
having that
next
much
generation,
talent
too.
face each other in that game. But winning last year, League of the Year,
Mhm.
was the best moment for
Mhm.
me because it mean we made it.
Yep.
Like the two of us and the league, like
Mhm.
we made it. Saying out of all 200,000 or whatever NFL flag leagues,
Y'all put
on the planet, we were named small market league of the year because we're considered a small market here in Pittsburgh. But the fact that we were named league of the year, just again, I just meant like all that hard work.
I hate when you say small market, man. It
I'm
just
saying
be
Pittsburgh
league of
is
the
small.
year,
Let's be
though. But
honest. Listen, that's the one. I think that's the one thing that we kind of get into because we looking at Texas.
Yeah.
Who they just got crazy numbers. New York,
Yeah,
crazy
no, I mean,
numbers.
that's different.
Even
That's
like
a different
Virginia,
vibe.
it's just
Yeah.
like some places like,
Different
how
vibe.
you getting these numbers?
Numbers.
But then you come here and it's like
you
we
hit
don't get the
numbers.
same. We don't get the same numbers.
But man,
So we just don't get the same. I just don't. I still feel like the people in Pittsburgh have just not transitioned and want to play flag. And I really
Yeah.
feel like that's what it is because we
they're
got football
stubborn
here.
I think a lot of them stubborn.
Which is crazy, but
big
I feel like
time.
it's just that old mindset.
Yeah.
It's just that old school mindset. We just want to play tackle.
100%, 100%.
But guess what? They was there yesterday.
I bet.
They was at that tournament yesterday.
I
Who?
bet.
The tackle teams.
Oh,
You figure like all the teams that we
Hampton-
faced
Yeah, the
was
Blur
tackle
Boys.
teams. That's
The
what I'm
Blur
saying.
Boys
all
was
the
that
teams,
team.
all the teams that we faced in that tournament yesterday, that we won and then they won. They were
Tackle
all
teams,
tackle
tackle
teams.
You gotta think they come
So-
when they come to the spring. They don't. A lot of them, especially
But
the first
it's
year.
not a lot though. It's not a lot of teams. As many tackle teams that we have in Pittsburgh,
Yeah, we do that
should see
more.
everybody.
Yeah, it should be like a
That's why
pipeline.
our spring league should be
Oh,
crazy.
when I seen it, it was like Garfield.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
packed.
Yeah.
But I got
Oh,
a
wow.
question for both of y'all too. Now, y'all said fair moment, in the league, but who do you think is a player that changed like the whole league, like just for good, like just any year? What do you think that a player that changed like the game, or even a team, or even a coach, like a player, a team, or a coach that changed the trajectory of like the whole league?
There is definitely a right or wrong answer.
I think, and again,
There's
I said this.
100% a right or wrong
I said
answer
this.
to this.
I actually said this earlier, and I just feel like Wesley.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know Wesley, but Wesley, I think for
No,
us,
he's one of them.
Wesley was the one for the first to ever really put the blitzing position on
the map.
yes, like kind of on the radar to where it's like if you have a Wesley
I faced him.
Trower,
I know.
To me, I
I
feel like
know.
that was the one time where it's like if you have somebody like this, it changes the dynamic of the defense.
But I feel like that's
So-
not fair to give Wes. My dude, because I
But
know
he was
everybody
the
gonna
first
say it.
person,
He's
so
the
you figure,
first
like-
one to be premier. Yes, I get it.
I'm not saying he was the best.
Nah, but
He's
I feel
definitely
like-
top. In my opinion, it's him and Logan.
I feel
That's
like
just to me.
But I feel Logan who?
What? Logan Barlinger? He had 41
Oh, okay,
sacks.
okay, Logan.
What?
Oh, I thought he meant a different Logan.
They talking about with the orange, not the quarterback.
How about that's
Nah,
crazy if
yeah,
you think.
Logan Barlinger. Yeah.
I know that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got an underrated one for y'all. And I know he's probably watching this, so shout out to him. But Zion Hauser.
Oh, he was nice,
He was
bro.
good.
But my
I've been
thing,
saying
He
Zion
just didn't have a
anytime-
team around him.
And
I've been
anytime
saying
that
Zion
I
was nice. He was nice
am
when he
trying to
was
like
nice.
train a
He
blitzer,
was nice
I
when
think
he
of
was
Zion.
nice.
Because Wesley, that was before I joined the league, so I can't
Nah,
really
that's
say
what I'm
much
saying.
about
So,
him.
yeah,
but
I get it.
Zion, to me, in my days of playing in flag, he's been a perfect blitzer. Because
Man.
he had the height,
Yeah.
but he
They
would
don't
run
know
in
that.
there,
He was so
and he was fast.
Yeah.
But he would run there, he would break down, but he would always have his hands up. So therefore, if
Yeah.
pass comes, he's there.
Smart.
Man,
But
Smart.
to me, he's been a perfect blitzer, and I say that to this day. And I'll tell any team.
That's why Jay's team
any-
was that good, too.
Yeah, any player that I coach, and Jay's elite team, I feel like that team's underlooked.
That wasn't better. I'm telling
just
you,
feel
that,
like
that
Carter,
second team,
Rio,
that team was the
Zion,
second
Devin.
best to that team. So
I just
that's how I
Carter,
feel.
Rio, Zion.
I still feel like Gabe's like that second year
but
was the best
that
team.
I mean, all those
Max,
kids,
Eric,
Gabe, Matt,
Brandon,
yes, Tyreek,
Miguel.
yes, that team
Man,
is
that team
stacked.
was stacked,
that
bro.
team was stacked enough. But the advantage that Jay's team had,
They had
is that
tons
they
of
had
tournaments.
and a ton of experience
Yeah.
playing the travel
Yeah,
circuit.
they did.
Jay's team was, our first team,
Reggie's team had
Reggie-
1 year,
yes,
one tournament.
right, and they were good,
Great.
as evidence
They made it
by,
to the
by
championship.
what they did.
They
in high
lost to the national champions.
Yes, but
So-
as evidence as what they all did in their high school careers, because
that's
they
true.
were most of them did things at the high school
Yeah,
level
for sure.
at a big stage. But to answer,
Y'all gonna scare me with y'all answers. I'm ready. I swear I'm ready for this.
I really don't to change the game.
If they didn't
Well,
play with me, they didn't change the game. I say this
But
so
who do you
boldly.
think it is, or what do you think?
It gotta
what
be
moment?
so. It just gotta be somebody from my group. Reason why I say it is because I feel like in a lot of I know like every generation probably tells out the same thing. Like our generation's the best. The reason why I say there's a right or wrong answer to that. My generation really did change this game. Reason why, not just starting with elite and just showing that of event, like just showing what's going on. We started the youngest coaches.
Yeah,
we
that's true.
started. We just
true.
started taking flag
Yes.
to the next level
Yes,
of.
that's true.
This is what flag is. This is what competing looks like.
No doubt.
This is what losing looks like.
No
And
doubt.
I'm not gonna lie. Like you can ask any
Which is
person
why-
who
which
I've
is
played
why-
against or played with,
which
and we're
is
all got the
why-
same ideas.
Which is why I probably would have said, not he was on that team, but I go to the youngest person on that team, I would say Eric.
Man, if it wasn't, I'm not gonna lie. I try to keep myself out of it because I'm just him. Gabe or Dom, I think, really changed his game. Reason why I say that, and I really say this, Dom is your premier receiver. Before Marcus was even the premier receiver, Dom was him.
Tyree, that's what
But
I'm saying.
there
You
was
wasn't
nobody-
there before Tyree for the Steelers, bro. He was just
Yeah.
he was taller.
But he's not on the record book, so
same
we
thing
don't know
with,
him.
same thing with
First of all, you can't.
That's what, but that's what I'm, it's just like who he is won't be like, because we don't know him like just to be like a. You gotta think. I'm
that's
talking
like
about
saying
like
Jerry Rice. I know who Jerry Rice.
that's
the
not
same
the same.
thing.
It's not though, because like there's receivers from back then who we don't know. Like
Right.
there's receivers like who kids don't know. Like I know them all, but there was receivers from that time who were premier receivers who kids don't know.
Right.
Jerry Rice is known. Like he's the Michael
He's only
Jackson.
known
he's known
because you got footage of it. Like we
But-
don't really have footage like that.
But that's
back
not
then.
that's not just that. He's known because the history books is his. Like he owns them.
That-
When you own
that's
the
true.
history book, it's kind of hard. Like, and I hate to say it, like I'm not a big stat guy all the time. Like I am a stat guy, but I'm not because it takes away from my own testament because I only played 2 years, right?
Right.
So you got them players who played 2 years who were great, like
Right.
top of the line.
Right.
But the history books kind of kill them out. Like
doubt.
for me, for example, like if you just took when I like y'all's first couple years, I'll be up here. But after a while, kids gonna keep coming in. They're gonna keep blowing that ceiling off because the ceiling has been pushed.
No doubt.
Our teams, like I always try to make a joke with y'all and be like, our Lions offense was the best offense.
It was
It
great.
really, the reason why it was so real, it kind of was like the blueprint for what you could do in the league. The reason why I say that because you got a mobile quarterback and 2 great receivers.
Once again, Josh, Winston, so great to have y'all. The energy y'all brought here is special today.
For sure.
And it might be one of the best shows we've had just because of your energy and
no
enthusiasm
doubt.
and
The answers was
and
great,
coaching
man.
and everything like that. So
We
great to
lost
have
track
you.
of time. That's how
Great
good
to
it
have you
was.
on. But as always, we close it out with you all shouting out your socials and for people reaching out to you all. Of course, you can reach us all at the Pittsburgh NFL League and our YouTube page and stuff like that. But Winston,
On Instagram, Winston5188, you'll find me there. I got a bunch of stuff that I'm doing: entrepreneurship, sports, coaching, just anything, musician stuff. A lot of y'all don't even know that, but
I love that.
musician stuff. You can find me there. That's pretty much about it.
Renaissance man.
Yes, sir. The GOAT, I'm telling you.
and Josh.
You can find me everywhere at Josh Anderson or Josh Anderson _official. All my music is out now. I am a singer, songwriter, so
You
definitely
on
go check it
Spotify?
out.
Tell them where to
I'm
find you,
everywhere.
bro.
Literally, Josh Anderson everywhere. I'm Josh Anderson literally everywhere. Go check out Hop Out the Window, Intoxicating Smiles, great songs, new music coming every day. So yeah, we're doing
Let's
big
do it.
things.
And for me, being his man's his music stuff. So
No
Hey, I
doubt,
appreciate
no
you,
doubt.
brother. I appreciate it for
It's
sure.
the intro and the outro, so check it out.
Y'all's the
Yeah.
goats. Y'all the goats, the
Yeah.
true goats.
See you next time. Thanks for tuning in. And
Living
Flag
not
Talk.
in the
See you
moment,
next time.
never not in the past. Seeing
that.
my moment pushes, so now I gotta be sad.